Kelly ready to go?
So Kelly told me at shoot around that he thinks he's going to give it a go, but we'll wait till he gets through all this stuff. But it sounds like, yeah, he's going to try to give it a go. So we'll see how much he plays. Obviously, he hadn't done much other than our practices in the last 5+ weeks.
How much of that is just a confidence thing at this point?
You mean with him playing with the shoulder? Yeah, I think that's a big deal. But you know, and that's depending on how much pain you're having, right? So there's only one person that can answer that question, and that's him. And that's why, you know, he's been smart about. We didn't want him to come back until he was ready to roll and didn't feel tender. You know, he's going to have some pain there, and that's part of it. But I think that at the end of the day, that he feels more comfortable today than he has before.
You've always admired teams that lose key pieces and just kind of keep on winning, keep on playing the same style. What areas do you guys need to really focus on with Jay Karpf?
Well, I think if you're going to play small, you better be able to shoot, right? So you better be able to make shots, and you better be able to, or you better be able to get out in transition and really run, because otherwise the lane is clogged. So we're going to have to continue to find better shots than we did last night. I thought we guarded great. I thought we guarded about as well as we could have last night. That'll be significantly tested again. And hey, this is a tough stretch of games for us. And so I'm conscious of that. And, you know, at the same time, you know, I think we need to play better offensively for us to have a chance to beat a team of this caliber.
Brad, you haven't had to coach against Durant very often. But how much of a challenge is it coaching against him?
Well, I think he's he's obviously a really talented guy. I mean, his ability to score is ridiculous. I mean, he can score on the block, he can score in transition, he can score in isolation, he can score off wide pin downs, he can score off pick and rolls, he can do it all. I mean, it's really difficult. And then when you add the fact in that he's close to 7 feet tall, it becomes even more difficult. So it's, you know, we're going to have to do our very best to make it as difficult as possible on him, with multiple different guys getting that assignment and that opportunity. And it's a lot easier said than done.
What are your early impressions of Cody Karpf?
I think Cody's done a good job. You know, I had to tell him to shoot yesterday, which I'm glad that he listened because he made the next one. But he's a really good shooter. That's what he does, and he's got to be a floor spacer to maximize his time at this level. And obviously, then it becomes who can you guard when you're that size at the 4, right? So, but he's, you know, I thought he did a pretty good job last night, and you know, we kind of threw him to the wolves. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, until Kelly decided that he wasn't playing, didn't know if he was going to dress or not. So, you know, I thought he did a good job, and he's been great to have around. I think he's got a chance if he can continue to work the right way and make shots.
You mentioned he has to guard. Do you see him as a guy that can kind of switch between the 4 and the 5, or even in small ball lines?
He's awfully small to do the 5 in the NBA, you know, and well, I think that it all depends on, you know, and it's all relative to who you're guarding off those screens too. I don't know that I can say enough about, you know, how he would be if he switched on to a guy like Westbrook, but I don't know who can switch on to Westbrook, so that's probably not fair. But he's certainly a guy that has a chance because of his physical strength, his upper body strength, and his skill to stretch those guys out.
Brett, will Marcus start on Durant tonight?
We'll just mix it up. You know, I think he'll play some on him. He'll play early on him, at least, you know, throughout the first 6 minutes or so, and then we'll see from there.
How do you keep them off the offensive glass? They've really been killing teams lately.
Yeah, we're not great at it, so we'll find out. I mean, I think, you know, obviously, you try to make the first shot as tough as possible. Our strength is in our quickness with our guards. You know, and what we're going to have to do is battle by committee to rebound. You know, obviously, we've got a great rebounder in Sullinger in our lineup, but we're going to need everybody to rebound, because in this team, you got to get all those guys off, and they're as good rebounding off the bench as they are in their starting lineup. And obviously, Cantor makes a big difference there.
Coach Marcus staying in the starting lineup?
Yeah, he's staying in the starting lineup.